Othello, Act 2, Scene 3. Now, Othello leaves Casio and Iago in charge of the party. If you remember in the last slide, Othello has announced everyone to take part in the celebration by eating and drinking. And he has kept Casio and Iago as in charge of the party and goes to spend time alone with Desdemona. Iago convinces Casio to drink even though Casio protests he has a very poor and unhappy brains for drinking. Now Iago has mischief in his mind. He knows that Casio cannot hold drinks. Even then he forces Casio to drink and he tells him that it seems that you are not happy with the alliance, the marriage of Othello and Desdemona. That is why you are not drinking. Now this compels Casio to drink. With Casio clearly drunk, Iago tells Monteno, I fear the trust Othello puts him in and secretly sends Rodrigo to provoke Casio to fight. Now, Iago tells Monteno that my God, look at this guy. This is the guy who Othello has put his trust in. Look at his condition. Monteno tries to stop the fight, but Casio fights him instead and injures him. Now, since Casio is provoked, there is no stopping him, and there is a small fight between Monteno and Casio. Othello arrives asking, Are we turned Turks? Now, there's so much of disturbance and shouting that Othello comes out and demands to know what is going on. Iago protests that he does not want to speak badly of Casio. Now, Iago here tries to be nice and good and he tells that I don't want to say anything against Casio. Yet I persuade myself to speak the truth. But then he becomes very righteous and says that I cannot help but speaking the truth. Hearing of Casio's drunkenness and fighting, Othello says, Casio, I love thee, but never more be officer of mine. Now Othello gets very angry and he says to Cassio that I love you very much, but now you cannot be my officer because of your deeds. Believing Iago is his friend, Cassio tells him how upset he is. Now Cassio feels Iago is his friend because Iago is playing a double game, a dirty game, and Cassio has all belief in Iago. So he tells Iago that oh I have lost my reputation. He says that I've lost my reputation, and that is something which is very important in my life. My life is not important, but my reputation is more important. I have lost the immortal part of myself, and what remains is bestial. Now Kesu is really hurt, and he says that if my reputation means a lot to me, and since I have lost it, I have nothing else left, and that he remembers a mass of things but nothing distinctly. And he says that, my God, I don't even remember what I have done because I was intoxicated. A quarrel but nothing whereof. He says, I don't remember I've done anything mortal, I've done anything wrong. But then, yes, there was a quarrel. Iago tells him to ask Desdemona for help in convincing Othello to give him back his job, and Cassio agrees, saying, You advise me well. Now, Iago again continues with his game and he says that Cassio, you talk to Desdemona. Now, Desdemona is very dear to Othello, and Othello is going to believe whatever Desdemona says. So, if you go and convince Desdemona to ask Othello to take you back, then I think things will be all right, and you will get your job back. Now, Cassio is very happy with this particular idea, and he tells Iago, "You advise me well." Left alone, Iago tells the audience that as Desdemona for him pleads strongly to the Moor, he will pour his pestilence into his ear, and that she repeals him for her body's lust. Now, Iago tells the audience that Cassio is now going to Desdemona to plead for him to the Moor, and he is going to you can say poison the mind of Othello and convince him that Desdemona and Cassio are having an affair. Rodrigo arrives complaining that he is bruised from the fight, has no money left, thinks it's time to go home. Iago assures him the plan is working well. Meanwhile, Rodrigo comes, and because of this little fight, he is hurt and he says that I am bruised and I have no money and I want to go home. But Iago stops him and shows him that the plan is working well. So he convinces Rodrigo to stay back because all the plan that is there in the mind of Iago is working as he wanted. So here you have Cassio out of the scene, you have Cassio going to Desdemona, which will be witnessed by Rodrigo and Iago as well as Othello, and things are not going to be really good.